The wine glasses clinked softly as she raised her eyebrow. "Wait, is that your daughter?" she asked, staring at the little girl on his lap. The restaurant fell into an awkward silence. People at the other tables glanced over, curious. The man, wearing a worn-out jacket that looked out of place in the expensive restaurant, adjusted his seat nervously. "Yes," he said quietly, stroking his daughter's hair. "It's just me and her." The woman across the table froze. She was dressed sharply, every detail screaming money and prestige. This was not what she expected on a blind date. Her friends had told her the man was humble, hard-working, maybe even struggling. But nothing about a child. He braced himself for rejection. He had seen it before, women who turned away the moment they realized he had nothing. No mansion, no car, no glamorous future to offer. Just a father doing his best for his little girl. But this blind date was different. This wasn't just dinner. This was his last attempt at hope. The waitress came by, placing plates on the table. The little girl clapped her hands in delight, drawing another round of stares from nearby guests. The woman cleared her throat, leaned closer and asked, "Why, didn't you tell me before?" His eyes darkened. "Because every time I do, the date ends before it begins." The tension lingered in the air. For a moment, the woman didn't respond. Instead, she watched how the man cut his daughter's food first before touching his own. She noticed the way he whispered to her, making her laugh, making her feel safe. Half an hour passed, and the conversation deepened. He explained how his wife had abandoned them when his daughter was only 2. He had been raising her alone, working long hours at construction sites, skipping meals so his daughter could eat. She listened quietly, but inside her heart was racing. She was the daughter of a millionaire, used to men flaunting their wealth, their cars, their watches. But here was a man who had nothing but love, patience, and dignity. Then came the truth reveal. She leaned back and whispered, "What if I told you I wasn't who you think I am?" He looked confused. "What do you mean?" "My father owns half the hotels in this city," she said softly. "I grew up in luxury. I never worried about bills, about rent, about food. But I've never seen anyone care for a child the way you do." The man nearly dropped his fork. "Why would someone like you be here with someone like me?" Her lips trembled. "Because money has never bought me love. Men only chase me for my last name, my father's fortune. You treat your daughter like she's your entire world. That's the kind of man I want." The little girl interrupted, tugging on the woman's sleeve. "Will you be my friend?" she asked innocently, holding up her stuffed toy. The woman's eyes watered. She reached out, gently squeezing the child's hand. "I'd love to." The restaurant seemed to fade away, the judgmental stares, the whispers, all drowned out by the quiet connection forming at that table. And for the first time in years, the man felt something he thought he had lost forever. Hope. Their dinner stretched into hours. They laughed, they shared stories, they discovered how opposite their worlds were. Yet, the more they spoke, the more it felt right. He wasn't dazzled by her wealth. She wasn't repelled by his struggles. Instead, they met somewhere deeper, where love was measured not by money, but by sacrifice. When they finally stood to leave, the little girl reached up and held the woman's hand, as naturally as if she had known her all her life. The man, hesitant, asked, "Are you sure about this? I have nothing to give you." The woman smiled, her voice steady. "You've already given me something no one else has. Faith in real love. That's worth more than all the money in the world." And with that, they walked out of the restaurant together, not as a failed blind date, but as the beginning of a story that no amount of wealth could buy. Love doesn't measure bank accounts, it measures hearts. Sometimes, the richest man is the one who gives everything, even when he has nothing. The man who thought he was too poor had already been the wealthiest of all, because he had love to give, and someone finally saw it. Before we end this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.